address the drama now. You poetry niggas be on that bullshit daily. In front of your adoring fans and fellow poets, you address me as queen or Miss SHEA. But when them cameras aren't rolling and the people are ignoring you, trying to get up under my skirts with them babies. But I'm over game though, so I don't fall for your shit though, so now there you go, like the performer you pretend to be. Telling people behind my back that I'm fucked up in the head and that I'm crazy. Well, maybe. So let me understand this correctly. When you don't get the response you expected, you questioning my sanity and trying to figure out why the shine from your star has been deflected. It's simple, fool. You've been rejected. I have no desire or want to be. Just another piece of arm candy. For any of you fake-ass Common Kanye, Black Ice, or Poetry, whack-ass Def Jam wannabes.
All right, Ray Lay Down the Truth with People's Choice. We have here SHEA Brown, and she was one of our poets that is going to be performing at Neat Restaurant and Bar at 11208 West Florissant Avenue on July 11th at 6 p.m. And we picked her because she's one of the deafest in St. Louis too. Well known, been around a nice little minute in this community. So SHEA, thank you for being a part of our show first.
I appreciate you for having me.
We're honored to have you. And then first, I'm going to ask everybody this. Why poetry? What does it for you?
Why poetry? If not, I think I wouldn't be able to breathe. It's like air for me.
I feel that.
It's beyond therapy. That's this air, this life.
Facts. Where did you first perform?
Ooh! Are we talking very first time doing poetry ever? I probably was like 5.
What?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know. When I was 5, I was the lead singer of a gospel group called the Spiritual Sprouts.
That's amazing.
Let them use, right? And so everybody else was like in their teens and preteens, and I was the only like little bitty young one. I was 5. I just had a strong voice.
Right.
So I was singing early on, and then I was into everything. Talent shows, I was dancing, I was doing poetry, you know. So one of the first times I probably ever recited and performed some poetry might have been like a little church show or something. I wrote some poem about Jesus.
Yeah.
Go figure, right?
So when did you pick it up after that then? Did you just continue it?
I continued writing because it was a good way to just get my emotions out, and then I call myself having a diary. But my mama nosy.
Right, yeah.
It was always in my
I swear
diary.
parents are, yeah.
And so, but I still kept doing it, but I just made it sound more like poetry. And then back then, I always assumed poetry had to be like the nursery rhymes I heard, the hickory dickory dock stuff. But the older I got, I realized it didn't, and so I started kind of freeform and merged the two together, and boom, there you go.
And here we are.
Yeah, and here we are.
So how many years total?
This year would make 28, I do believe.
Girl,
that's unofficial, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's the official, my bad. Unofficial, it's probably longer than that, you know, because again, like I said, I've been doing stuff ever since I was little, so I've been doing poetry most of my life. So
It shows. I act surprised because that's a nice little length right there. Yeah. But honestly, it shows. It shows in your performances and your pieces that you do this.
I appreciate that.
For sure. What are some of your biggest influences and influencers to this journey as an artist, people, places, circumstances?
Artist-wise, I used to be really into Saul Williams back in the day.
Okay.
And Suhair Hamad, and then I became friends with her, and that was just like...
That's amazing.
But then, like, all of my other influencers are my close friends. The Brother Teens, Lightness, Starlights, Misinterpretations, like AJ, Taylor Poet, people that I hung specifically around, you know, they were like big influences for me because listening to what they were saying and then hearing what myself, you know, had to say, and it was just like, this is the fuel, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I would say my peer group, Brother Khalil, 16 Bars, Ill Thought, you know, those were my peer groups. And so I didn't idolize like big names, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still like that today. I be like, oh, okay, they cool, but
Yeah.
you know.
You only get so much of them.
I'm not impressed by much.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I feel you. Well, it sounds like a lot of iron sharpening iron.
A lot of it.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. What's some advice that you got for some newer poets that's not as seasoned?
Stay humble. Sit down a little bit. Oh no. Stay humble. Really. Don't get the big head. I've seen it all too often where a poet will get a certain type of notoriety and then their head jack in the box, thinking that you better than the next or that you big. Nah, like just remain humble. That's my main advice. Be humble and truthful. Try to be about your word at all times. Whatever you say is what you say, and make it be just that. You know? Because I can't stand no lying, you know. And so, be humble and be truthful. Those are my biggest 2 pieces of advice.
That's great advice. All right. What would you like to see change in the current scene that we got right now?
More unity. Get the jack in box out the way. More unity. Look, I think that this poetry community could have more cohesiveness. It needs to be more like a family unit, like it used to be, instead of this everybody clawing for the top. Everybody want to be the top. I'm so sick of hearing the phrase, I'm the GOAT. Everybody can't be the GOAT. There is just no way. There's one MJ. There's one Kobe. There's one, you get what I'm saying?
Facts.
Everybody can't be the GOAT. You can be fantastic.
Right.
You can be great, but everybody can't be the greatest of all time. So, I need everybody to recognize this. And if y'all gonna love on each other, love on each other. But like, stop trying to outdo each other. Why we can't make this a bigger thing than what it is? Facts. You know what I'm saying? By coming together and building something together versus everybody clawing at each other. And every show you do ain't gotta be a show. Why it can't be no open mics? Everything don't gotta be a production. Like, I just personally get tired of going to shows. Like, why it can't just be an open mic or poetry event? Everything gotta be coming to the stage, we putting on. No. So that, but that's my 2 cents, $4 and whatever else.
I like it. Yep, respected, received. What are some of you feel like is your biggest accomplishments, personal, arts, or business wise thus far?
Dealing with poetry?
Yeah.
Honestly, I ain't reached it yet.
Okay.
As far as me, when I was talking about how people are competing, I don't really trip off of stuff like that because I ain't competing with nobody.
But
I'm
yourself.
my own competition.
Facts.
And I have yet to outdo me yet.
Ah.
So I haven't reached my greatest accomplishment yet.
Yeah.
When I get to it, everybody will know.
Yeah.
It ain't there yet.
Yeah.
It ain't came. So.
That's gonna be that incredible next level shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's when my wings will come out my back.
I'm just jumping on them motherfuckers. Okay. Some shout outs you got.
Final form. Okay, go ahead. What?
Shout outs.
Shout outs?
Yep. It can be whatever. Venues, poets, people. Give me whatever's on your mind right now.
Okay, cool. So shout outs. I do a paint class, a puff pass and paint class, every other Saturday at the Cola Private Lounge on Cherokee, 2834 Cherokee. I am the one and only instructor in the Midwest. My assistant over there, boo, 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 boo.
That's dope.
He's gonna run it. Okay. So I do that at the Cola Lounge, and the Cola Lounge is a cannabis consumption lounge. It's a great space. It used to be just for patients, but since cannabis became rec, it's open to more people, and I think people would enjoy it if they actually just come out and see what it's about. And so I want to shout out Brendan and Ashley England for that, and my entire Cola family. Starlight in there too. But my entire Cola family, because they keep me grounded, keep me focused. People-wise, shout out Team, Starlight, Lightning, and 16. Even though we beefing right now, 16. These are the 4, and Terry, that keep me grounded, like at all times. If ever there's a point where I'm gonna go jack in the box, they got me like, nah, we right here together. And so
that's not what
my
we doing.
core group, keeps me grounded, keeps me focused on what's ahead of me, You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. Other than that, I want to shout out everybody, but I ain't got that kind of time.
No, it's
nor
well
do I have
understood.
that type of memory.
Yeah, but we know you well connected in this community.
And you all for putting me on this and allowing me to be able to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. So I appreciate you.
And that's what we here for, man. This expression. We want to hear you. We want the world to hear you. For real, that's real. You said current platforms, businesses. How can they book and find you, girl?
They can find me on just about everything social media. On Instagram, I'm Style So Furious. Also Style So Furious LLC on Facebook, but I have a regular page, Sharika Shea Brown Pitts. But if they're trying to book me for poetry, Style So Furious LLC.
Okay.
On just about everything.
All right. We honored to have you, love. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I
We love
appreciate
you.
having me.
Yes, baby.